Hi everyone, Gianni here with you for TheoTRADE, and today is Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. It's the last day of the third quarter, and it's been a very exciting and impressive one. Now, what matters the most is that we finished the year out strong, and it looks like we could see some cooperation from the major indices as well as some other risk assets. So let's go ahead and dive into what's unfolding in this tape here today. We started off the week yesterday with stocks being up. We did give back some of those gains going into the closing bell, but coming off of a week where energy was the best performing sector, we did see technology once again come soaring out the gates, outperforming the rest of the market, leading everything higher. And that was basically a continuation from the two prior weeks where technology was the best performing sector in the entire market. So we're still seeing tech and semiconductors carry this market higher. You see the S&P just turned slightly positive on the day. NASDAQ is still lagging behind a little bit. We'll see where we settle out the day. We are up off the lows of the day, but it's been a rather quiet session. And, there's a lot of end of month, end of quarter portfolio rebalancing taking place from large institutions at the moment. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this choppiness continued, into Friday and possibly even spilling over into next week. Obviously, markets are watching what a government shutdown could do for us right now. And what's interesting is if you actually go back and look at the historical data of how markets performed during government shutdowns, at least in the period leading up to and the period immediately afterward, it's been mostly positive. Now, of course, many of us will remember the 2018 flash crash that bottomed on Christmas Eve on December 24th, and that was actually leading into a government shutdown as well. But we did bottom during the shutdown and came out of that much stronger afterwards. That would have been way back here. Yeah, we bottomed there and then actually rallied and made new all-time highs shortly thereafter. So, you take a look at what's going on in chips today, up on the day with most of the market kind of spinning its wheels. The semiconductor index did hit a new all-time high yesterday. Don had a really awesome trade in the Theo chat room today on Nvidia, and I'm really not surprised considering, the stock is hitting a new all-time highs. It looks like it's ready to lift off higher. So you have to ask yourself this question. What do you think would happen to the overall market if the world's biggest stock went on to make new all-time highs and was breaking out here? We've been talking about Nvidia hitting $230 per share for quite some time. And it looks like that type of move could be getting started now. But Nvidia is not the only stock in the semiconductor space that has been doing well. We have been all over Micron Technology. This is a trade that we have been long in the live room as well. And, you take a look at even what's happening with advanced micro devices. Advanced micro devices is chopping around here, but nicely off the lows. So I still think there's a lot of good things happening in the semiconductor space, and that should be a tailwind for prices to continue higher. But, I still think that the best opportunities related to tech are overseas across the Pacific in China. As U.S. markets spin their wheels today, we are seeing China up about 0.3%, but CQQQ, the one that I think is going to be defining the moves over the next several months, probably into next year, is up about 1.3% on the day. So Chinese tech looking very strong. Alibaba did hit a new high for us. We were able to book profits on this in the Trinity trade. Recently, Baidu, another Chinese tech-related names that's been holding up pretty well. So one of the trades that we talked about in the live chat room recently, BYD, Chinese electric automaker, I think is setting up for a good, nice reward, nice risk reward trade here. And, obviously this is a big competitor for Tesla, which we are still bullish. We are still long. It was down earlier today. It is up off the lows, but again, it's just one of those things. I think China has a bit more power to direct their consumers into certain areas of the economy, certain patterns of spending. So I think BYD has some good opportunities for a swing long here at current levels. Now you go ahead and shift gears and look at what's going on in precious metals. Gold still defying the laws of gravity, coming within about 80 cents of hitting the $3,900 level. But seeing a little bit of churn in the precious metal space, I do think that this market is starting to get a little bit overbought, but that doesn't mean it can't continue higher in the near term. I wouldn't be surprised next year to see gold around $5,000 per ounce, but I am looking for a healthy, sharp, quick pullback in both gold and silver. Silver still has not made a new all-time high going all the way back to April of 2011. But some of our trades in this department have been very rewarding. Talking about AG, First Majestic Silver, that actually hit a new high today. We traded this in the live chat room with an entry back around the high $8 mark. So that one has been doing very well for us, up around 45 to 50% on this one. And then Barrick Gold over in the Trinity trade might actually get stopped out of this one today if it closes below this gap. But again, just looking at how extended we appear to be in the immediate term in metals. Again, I do want to buy the dip, but it is a good time, I think, to be booking some profits after this impressive run higher. You take a look at cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin and Ethereum came flying out the gates yesterday. Solid updates, giving some of it back today, but I do view this as more like digestion of the gains from the prior two sessions. Still think the path of least resistance remains higher into the fourth quarter. HUT has been a really strong trade for us in this department, and there's a lot of other nice opportunities brewing under the surface. Take a look at the quantum sector going sideways near the highs. We are seeing, a bit of a corrective decline in some of these names like D-Wave Quantum and even quantum computing. So I don't think that theme's going away anytime soon. But we know how these names tend to fly high when they do, and they also pull back just as hard. So these are not stocks that you just want to be chasing moves on. Where you position, where you get in, where your stop loss is really is the key to success in many of these names. Take a look at what's happening in bonds. We were looking for that low. We did have a nice rally yesterday. Made a new high in the 30-year note today, but pulling back some 10-year note well off the highs of the day, slightly in positive territory, but crude oil still struggling to sustain any sort of bid. And I think as long as this continues to be the case, there's no real risk of inflation beginning to accelerate to the upside. So, we're going to be looking at rate cuts continuing. That's going to be a major issue for the dollar, which has been getting hit hard to start this week, both against the yen and the euro. So the story remains the same. Weak dollar, low rates, bullish for tech, bullish for international stocks. And so we're going to be following that order. And I think that's been a reason why, China's been doing so well. Yes, the Japanese yen obviously tracks money flows into Japan, right? Whether it's going into or out of Japan, but Japan is part of Asia, so like we have to think about it at a continental level as well. And I think Asia is seeing a very healthy dose of capital flows into their region at the moment. So that's where my attention is right now. Also keeping an eye on biotech, seeing a nice rally on that front. A couple names that we have been tracking, seeing some nice progress on that front. Very downtrodden, undervalued sector that has done nothing in about 4 years. So, healthcare has been one of the worst performing sectors in the market year to date, but sector rotation is the lifeblood of bull markets, and it's the second largest sector in the S&P 500. So I am looking for this to come back alive. There's been a lot of announcements lately on the healthcare front from this administration, and I think we could see it, be a key player in the fourth quarter. So keep an eye on that. I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the TheoTRADE chat room.